All right, let's go ahead and get started. We've got a lot of great content today, so we'll go ahead and get this kicked off, even though we've got a few people logging in. First off, thank you for joining us today. We're going to talk about Dynamics 365 for sales. We're going to go through the day in the life of a salesperson. For those of you who are not too familiar with Dynamics 365, especially the latest versions, it's really great to see all of this stuff from a user case scenario, being able to see what a day in the life looks like. And so our presenter is going to be able to walk us through that with some great scenarios and kind of give you some perspective on the technology other than just showing you the tools and what they do. So before we get too far into the goodies you're going to get today, I'm going to show you just a little bit of housekeeping and then maybe a little intro, and then we'll get going. So first off, you're going to see that GoToWebinar panel on your right side of your screen, most likely. If you want that to pop out of the way, you just click that little orange arrow, and that way you'll be able to see more of the presentation in front of you. If you want to ask a question, please do that at any point throughout the presentation, but we do ask that you enter it in the questions pane instead of having the mics open and calling them out. We've got a lot of good stuff to go over. We want to make sure we stay on track and that we do not go down any rabbit holes, which does happen. So what we're going to do is I will collect those in the background. Then at the end, I will feed those to the presenter one by one. If some of the questions get a little involved, or if it seems like there should be a little more conversation around it, we can definitely unmute the mics. Other than that, we are absolutely happy to take any questions offline if there's deeper conversations to be had or connecting you with other resources. So please feel free to send us any questions that you have around surrounding Dynamics 365. We will absolutely make sure you get all the answers you need, whether it's during the webinar or right after. So please don't be shy about that. And a little bit about Encore. I know a lot of you on this call are familiar with us, but I think I've seen a couple of new names here. Well, first off, I want to introduce myself. My name is Jess Mooney, and I work with the marketing team and with our sales team to provide a webinar series that we're going to be doing throughout the year. But Encore ourselves, we've been in business for 25 years. We're Microsoft Gold certified partner, and we support Dynamics AX, GP, CRM, Nav, and Power BI. We also have proprietary solutions that we serve our clients with. And then we have, our professionals have over 130 our professionals are a staff of over 130 very well qualified, deep expertise professionals across Canada and the US. And speaking of which, this is just a quick, excuse me, I'm going back and forth in my presentation. Let me try to get my keys working properly. These are our locations across Canada and the Pacific Northwest US. And like I said, we do have 130 professionals across those areas. So that's it for my quick and simple pitch. I just want to go ahead and introduce you to Alex Fredrickson. He's an account executive on our Dynamics 365 team, and he is one of our absolute best when it comes to explaining the functions and features of the new tools. Alex, can you hear me okay?
I can, and thank you for that kind introduction. So I'll go ahead and take the screen here.
I just handed you the controls, so you should see them in a second.
Yep. We should be looking at a PowerPoint slide now.
Yep, looks good. We gotcha.
Let me catch up there. So, Jess, if you don't mind, keeping a close eye. I know sometimes switching between PowerPoint and my internet browser, sometimes it doesn't port over, so just let me know if that happens.
Gotcha.
So yeah, I'm here today to present a day in the life of a salesperson. So really we're going to be walking through all the tools that Dynamics 365 for Sales can provide, and we are going to cross over a little bit into some of the modules and how they can be relevant to your sales team. And so we are going to be moving pretty fast, looking at some inside sales scenarios, some outside, some new business sales scenarios. So I'm definitely going to leave a little bit of time at the end so that if there are any questions or if anybody wants to dig in and take a closer look at anything that we presented today, we'll certainly have some time to do that. So here's our agenda for the day. I want to start just for those who maybe aren't familiar with Dynamics 365, whether they're they're CRM users who are on a previous version, or they're just starting to look at the potential of implementing a CRM system. I want to make sure that everybody's familiar with the navigation and the different modules available and so forth. And then once we go over that, we'll jump right into our demo portion of the day, jumping into our sales scenario, which I'll brief you on in just a moment. And then again, we'll open up the microphones and allow folks to either type in or ask questions live, and we'll take a look at those as well. All right, so I want to quickly go through the Dynamics 365 customer engagement overview. And so Dynamics 365 customer engagement is now what Microsoft is calling their CRM product. So now that they've introduced project functionality and field service and all these other things, they wanted a term that kind of encapsulated all of that and didn't just focus on CRM or customer relationship management. But just want to make sure that that's clear for the audience today. So switching over to my browser here, and just let me know if that didn't work properly. I'll quickly go through our navigation and some of the basic elements of our CRM. So starting with the navigational bar up top, we have what's called the waffle icon. And so that's going to allow us to navigate throughout all of our Microsoft tools. So whether it's my mailbox, or maybe I'm doing some reports out of Power BI, or I like to store my documents in SharePoint, I have access to everything I could possibly need throughout the day right here from within the interface of my CRM system. The Dynamics 365 icon here is our home button, and it also allows us to navigate around based on our functional role. So today I'll be working mostly out of our sales app here, and so this is essentially a subset of our CRM. So if I'm a sales user, I want to access through my sales app to keep my navigation simple, to keep my options very focused and of high importance. Whereas if I was in the customer service or some of these other areas, I could navigate to my CRM through these apps to make my tray and navigation simple in that way. And so you'll see here, as I click down on my main navigation, I am currently in the sales module, and so you can see, we have all of our customer accounts and contacts, all of our sales leads and opportunities, some product collateral, orders, other related records, and kind of all of the elements that make up our sales organization. But then you can also see I have access to all of these other modules within Dynamics. So my customer service area, which we'll take a little bit of a look at in the reference of a sales user today, marketing, field service, and project service. So we have a lot of functionality within the Dynamics 365 suite. So today we will be focusing on sales, but just wanted to kind of highlight all the different elements that are available out of the box here. And then moving over to our right side of our navigation bar, these are a couple things that I'll use throughout the day, so I just want to make sure people are familiar. Here we have our global search. So this is going to allow me to search across the CRM system, not specifically for an account or an individual, but across all the records that we keep, whether it's a project record or a customer service ticket, or a phone call that I have scheduled for later this week. I can use one search term to get results across all of those different records. And then we have our recently viewed items. So this is where I can quickly navigate throughout the CRM system. I can go directly to a record I've viewed recently, or what's called a view, which is essentially a list of records within an entity. And then I can also pin things. So today I'm going to be working with an Alpine Ski House opportunity, and I'm going to be working with Jess on a lead here. So I wanted to make sure I had those things pinned, because if I'm going to be working on this throughout the week or maybe this month, it'll allow me to quickly navigate around. And then we also have our quick create. So we'll be looking at a lot of different ways to create content, to create records within CRM. The quick create is one of those that simplifies and just asks for the most important attributes of any given record. And then we have our advanced find area. So this is how you can query your system. You can create different views and lists of records based on various filters, whether you want to filter customers by industry or by annual revenue, or maybe you want to find people that are in your geographic location, you can use the advanced find to do that, and we'll take a closer look later on today. So that's kind of our main navigation. So I just want to make sure everyone was familiar. Here's a landing page, which is called a dashboard, which are very important in the world of CRM. And so we'll dig a little bit more into this when we get into our main demo portion of the day. So let me jump back to our slides here. So just to highlight the scenario we're going to be looking at today, let me jump into my slideshow. So today, I'm still Alex, but I'm going to be a sales coordinator for Contoso. And so as a sales coordinator, I'm responsible for selling products across our product line. So, you know, we do hardware sales, we do IT infrastructure and managed services, as well as other IT services and professional services. So, you know, there's a lot of things we have the option of selling, whether it's, you know, hours or products. And I'm going to be working with new businesses as well as existing business. And so we'll see kind of how we can tie all that into, you know, using CRM to give you a good feel for, you know, all the tools that are available, and also some of the automation capabilities, and just to give you some ideas around business process and workflow within CRM. All right, so without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and jump in to our day in the life scenario. So let me get back here. Go to my main dashboard page. And so as a sales user and as a sales coordinator, the place that I like to start every day is on my dashboard, because I'm working with a lot of customers at once. You know, they're all emailing me, and I have calls throughout the day and different activities and follow-ups that I need to keep track of. And then I also have my own sales pipeline, my targets, my goals, those sorts of things. So by using dashboards as a landing place and a place to start my day, it gives me a good feel for what I need to get done that day, and it also makes me confident that I'm not letting any balls drop, right? I'm keeping track of all the opportunities we have going on. I'm following up with all the leads that are in my pipeline, and I can feel comfortable knowing that all my data is in CRM, so I don't have to dig, you know, into those 200 unread messages to make sure I'm not leaving anybody hanging. I can just focus in one place here. And so one way that I like to do that is by creating all my tasks in CRM. And so what that gives me is a list every time I log into CRM of what I need to do next. So as I can see here, these are my open activities that need to be completed. I can assign myself due dates. As we'll see later, you know, some of these are going to be created via workflow. And so when I get in first thing in the morning, maybe it's a Monday, and I'm still a little disoriented, haven't had a cup of coffee yet, I can jump on and just get a good feeling for, okay, do I have any demos today? Do I have a call later? What are my other follow-ups? And so as you can see here, I have a few tasks to complete. I have some appointments later in the afternoon, and then I have some other follow-ups with my sales opportunities. What I also have here on my dashboard is all the records that are owned by my user. So here are all my opportunities, and so I like to organize these by estimated close date so I can try to prioritize and figure out what to focus on next. But then I also don't want to lose sight of my leads. So they may be a little bit further out, maybe they aren't qualified yet, but I want to make sure I'm keeping track of those things. And then another thing that I like to do as a sales coordinator, especially because I'm doing inside sales, I want to see all my customers' interactions with our support desk. So, you know, before I go into a meeting or jump on a call, I want to have an understanding of, you know, are things going well, right? Are there issues with some product deliveries that I want to know about? And so by adding this view of all of my cases related to my customer accounts, I can quickly go in and just have a stream of all the tickets that are being created by my clients. And so, you know, I'm never going to be caught off guard when I reach out to a contact and he says that something's going wrong, or he's having an issue right now with the support desk, because I'm already going to be well aware of that. So, you know, once I've logged into CRM and gotten a good feel for what I'm going to be doing for the day, the next thing that I'm always going to do is check my email. So as we saw earlier, you can do this all from the same window, just creating new tabs and so forth. And as you can see there, in 13 minutes, I have a meeting with Jess regarding a lead within the system. So I'll go ahead and dismiss this, and we'll take a look at that later. So now I can see, I'm coming in for the morning. I have a few unread emails, so where to start. So here I shared some things with Jess last week. Let's see. Okay, here we go. I sent her a product catalog, and she's looking to purchase some laptops for her team. So now what I can do to try and help Jess is I can pull this record up in CRM. I can navigate back and take a look at the information I've sent her in the past. So to get us started here, I'm going to go ahead and jump right into that lead. So here within the CRM lead record, I have a lot of elements that are tracking what we know so far about Jess herself, about what she's interested in, what her budget is, whatever we've been able to figure out, whether it's from a web form that she filled out, or maybe it was a marketing lead that got handed to me from the marketing side of things. So I'm going to have some information in here to work with. So on the left-hand side, I have all my basic contact information. In the middle, I have what's called the social pane. So this is kind of our live feed of everything that's going on. And as you can see in the activities, I have all the emails and all the appointments all synced between my Outlook calendar in my mailbox and my CRM system. So as we can see, I have this meeting at Jess's office. May not make it there in the next 15 minutes, but that's the same meeting that actually got created here in CRM before showing up on my Outlook calendar. And so whether you're using OWA or the desktop client, you're going to have all of these capabilities. I can also dig into some of these emails. So I actually never have to leave CRM because I can jump in and say, okay, well, I forget, what did I send Jess? And so I can take a look at this content. Okay, okay, so yeah, she wants to move forward with this purchase, so I'm getting a good feel for what's going on with this lead. And then I can also look at some other pieces of information. So here we have our insights pane. So this is where we're actually connecting with various sources online, whether it's LinkedIn or I know Equifax provides a lot of details to see a little bit about Jess's organization. And so here I can see, okay, where are they located? What do they do? If I want, I can pull all these details into the CRM record to save me some time in terms of record creation. And then I can also jump in and do some more research into this organization. So here I can see, okay, what's been going on lately? Oh, okay, I know backcountry.com. I didn't realize, they were related to this organization. And I can get a good feeling for how big that organization is, start a conversation or insights, who are my key contacts at this organization, and so forth. And for those of you who are heavily using Sales Navigator with LinkedIn, you can also do more due diligence from LinkedIn directly. So I want to look up Jess here, and since she doesn't actually work for this organization, I want to search for her name to look her up, and there we go. So I can match with Jess on LinkedIn. I can navigate to LinkedIn to view her profile. I can see, okay, I have a lot of shared connections. Maybe I can leverage these to speed up this sales process and to further this lead. And then I can look at other ways to get introduced to Jess. So here's some more details about all our shared connections. And then related leads. Maybe there are other people at our organization with similar job titles or who are working in different departments that I can start to connect with on purchasing laptops and other hardware for their users. So I have a lot of great information here within my lead record. And then I can even go and reach back out to Jess. So she wants to purchase some more laptops. So maybe I want to create a new email directly out of my CRM system. So as you can see, my email signature is already included here within my email window. So I can start to create this email. Hey Jess, great to hear from you. I'll attach some more details about the laptops we sell. So easy as that. I can create my new email. I can attach templates. So if I have a standard introduction to Contoso template that has all our product brochures and those sorts of things, I can do that. I can also attach any attachment. So maybe I want to grab something from my PC. I can go ahead and attach a document there and then send that off to Jess. And so immediately, that's going to continue the string of email records within our CRM system. So whether my manager's coming in to check on me, or maybe next time I work with Jess, I want to go in and see what our last interactions were. I'm going to have all of those capabilities. And so now that I know Jess is a little bit more serious, I can start to work through my sales process and even go as far as qualifying this lead. And so when I qualify the lead, whether Jess is an existing individual in our system, or if AdventureWorks is an existing account record within our system, I can fill out these details as well. So if I look for AdventureWorks, I know they exist. I don't think Jess exists. And then here's my business process flow where I'm checking off some high-level boxes. And then I can qualify this record, which is going to go ahead and create a contact record for Jess, and then create a new opportunity record where we can associate products to this opportunity. She wants some laptops, or we can further these requirements discoveries, learn a little bit more about, okay, what types of users need this hardware, how fast do these PCs need to be, and all the other things that are going to be important in that conversation, such as, do they need monitors, do they need HDMI cables, those sorts of things. And so now that I move these things along, I'm waiting on Jess for some feedback. I'm going to go straight back to my dashboard and figure out what I need to do next. And so let's see here. We can look at some tasks. So all these tasks, none of them need to be done today. So I'm going to go ahead and let those slide and go back to my email here. So now we can see in my email I've also been working with Young-Ha Kim. So I'm a little bit further along in the process with Young-Ha. He already has an active opportunity, and he's looking to really finish this sales process to get his users set up with some new laptops and some other keyboards and mice. So here we can pull up our Dynamics app within Outlook to take a look at how is this being tracked in the system. How can I, contact Young-Ha, those sorts of things. So if I go into this window, I can hit track, and this is where I can look up this opportunity. So I have this opportunity with Young-Ha, and I've tracked emails to this recently, so I can go ahead and click on this opportunity, and it will immediately set regarding to Alpine Ski House. And so now all our back and forth between Young-Ha and I is going to be tracked to this opportunity. I can also see some additional details about Young-Ha. So I know he's a contact within the system. I can see his job title and the organization he works with, as well as his phone number. And so if I'm using a VoIP solution for phone calls, I can just click to call here. What I can also do is create some additional records within Dynamics CRM. So if I want to schedule a phone call, task, appointment, what have you, I can create those directly out of CRM, and then those are going to sync back here to my Outlook, so I can manage everything in one calendar and in one list of tasks. So for now, I just want to jump back into this opportunity and keep things moving along. So it looks like Young-Ha wants to go with the 15-inch screen, and then he wants to know a little bit more about the prices to add keyboards and some mouses to this order. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up this opportunity. So as you can see, it's just going to pop up in a new window. So it's really easy to navigate around from my email back to CRM. So we can see that this is a very similar layout in our opportunity as it is in our lead. So it's very easy on your users to pick this up. So I have all my information on Young-Ha. We have this hardware sale for Alpine Ski House, all our contact information, and then some information such as budgets and sales probability that are going to help fuel those dashboards. So as you saw, we had our sales pipeline and our weighted forecast revenues within those dashboards. And so this is really what's fueling all of that, this data from our opportunity records. And then as we can see here, we have some posts. So a post is just a quick note that I made. just, if anyone else checks out this record, they can see, okay, I'm working on it, right? I'm pulling this information together, and I plan on getting back to Youngha shortly. And then I have some of the same options around, connections with insights and LinkedIn and those sorts of things. And so the last thing I heard from Youngha is that he wanted to go with the 15-inch screen. So we can see here, okay, what does Youngha need to do? He needs 35 desktop machines and 125 laptops. So it sounds like he wants to go 100% with the 15-inch screen. So I'm going to go ahead and update this, and I'm going to remove our 12-inch line item. And so I had that just in there as a placeholder so I could show Youngha all the pricing. And then I'm going to put in the 125 for our laptops. And so Youngha also mentioned that he'd be interested in looking at the wireless keyboard and mouse for his users. So I know that my organization has set up some accessories within Dynamics, so I can go ahead and look and see, okay, so what are some common accessories? We have our laptop keyboard and wireless mouse. So I'm going to go ahead and pick these items and add them to my list of sales records here. And so, I'm just going to assume that he's just trying to evaluate this for every single one of those employees that's getting a new laptop. So I'll update my quantities there. And then now that I have kind of my final quantity and product selection, yes, Youngha may change this, but this is definitely the product selection we're going to go with. I'm going to change my revenue to system calculated. So what that's going to do is it's going to automatically update my estimated revenue, and it's going to lock that down so that I'm certain that this is a reliable number and it's actually based off of products here within our products list. And then I know Youngha wanted to take a look at those prices as well, so I'm going to go ahead and create a new quote. So let's delete this draft that I created earlier, or deactivate that. So this actually isn't going to delete this for good, but it will deactivate that and remove it from my list there. And then I'll create a new quote. So this is really just going to pull all those line items into a form where I can share with Youngha. So whether I want to set up a Word template to share this with Youngha, or maybe I want to set up a mail merge if I prefer that, or some other type of SSRS report, you can set all those things up against the quote and then email this off to Youngha. So in the typical scenario, I could use my Word template, or I could pull this down using my mail merge. But for the sake of our demo, I'm going to go ahead and take a step forward and say, okay, Youngha was good with the pricing, and he actually just wants to go ahead with a proposal for this. So I'm going to go ahead and continue to move through my sales process here. So as I'm working through my business process flow, I'm going to be completing all the required fields and all the other information gathering to make sure that, one, I'm going to make my sales manager happy, right? I'm collecting all the details we need for reporting, for when we go and look back on our year of sales or our month of sales, and all those sorts of considerations, but also some important details to help our delivery side of things. So maybe there's services needed, or maybe we need to confirm inventory, those types of things. So I want to make sure that I fill out all our required fields here. So as I move through this sales process, a couple different things are going to happen. So not only am I going to move in the sales process stage, which we'll see when we get back to our pipeline and our dashboard, it's also going to update records throughout our CRM system. So here when I move from qualify to requirements, I actually, my probability changed from 15 to 25%. And you can see that if I refresh this page quickly, it's going to repopulate and complete that workflow action that asks to update that probability. And so by incorporating these things within your sales process, you're automatically going to have the probability updated based on how far along that sales user is. So it's really going to help with the accuracy of your weighted revenue forecast and any other reports that you're doing based on close date or probability to close, those sorts of things. And so here I can continue filling out the various aspects of this. So I know Youngha, I've had a couple conversations with him. They're a 250 employee organization, but right now they're just supplying new PCs to most of that organization. And then, do we have a signed MSA? I don't think we do with this particular organization. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and send that out to Youngha. So here I can create a new email. And I know my MSA is one of my email templates. So now I can take a look at my various email templates. And so here I have my standard MSA, so I'm going to select that. Include the attachments. And then that'll pull in all the data we need here. The email needs to be created, as I'm remembering, before I add any attachments. So let me add that one more time. And then I can send this off. So now in my activities pane, I can see, okay, I have the attachment there. This went out to Youngha. And so once I get that signed and get that back, then I can generate a proposal for him and get that out the door. And so now that I'm done with Youngha for now, I'm going to go ahead and say, okay, waiting on MSA. In the meantime, I need to finish the proposal. And so this is my next step for this opportunity. Let's see, it's probably not going to happen until, let's just say, tomorrow. Then I can save this record. And so now what CRM did in the workflow, it created a new task. And it created a task for me due on the 19th for me to complete this proposal and send it to Youngha. And so now tomorrow when I log in for the first time, I'm going to be able to see, okay, that's right, I need to get this proposal out to Youngha and keep this opportunity moving forward. So if I go back to my dashboard here, refresh the page, I now see that I have that new task. So if I click into my new task, let's say this is tomorrow morning, I can jump in and see, okay, I'm waiting on the MSA, but now we're ready to actually get the proposal out. So I'm going to navigate directly back to this opportunity and continue moving things forward. So Youngha got the MSA back to me. And so let's keep trucking along here. And so now I'm ready to create my proposal. So have I developed the proposal? No, you know what, I haven't done that yet. And so I have all the details. I know what Youngha wants. He let me know that he does want the keyboard and mouse. And so I'm going to move this thing along and go ahead and create a proposal. And so what we have here in Dynamics 365 is a direct integration with our Microsoft Word suite or Microsoft suite. So here we have our Word template, and I have my sales proposal. So I can go ahead and pull this proposal. It's going to download as a Word doc. And then we can see we have these details pulling in. So this is a very simplified proposal, but you can see we have our standard layout. We have some information filled out based on who this individual is and what company they work for. And then down below we have the various products that we're selling. And so now we have all our pricing information. We have any other terms or considerations we want to include there. And so what I can now do with this is I can email this to Youngha, or if I'm a DocuSign user, I can attach this to a DocuSign envelope to get approved. And so I have a lot of different options around that proposal. And so I'm going to go ahead and close this for now and jump back into our opportunity. So yes, I've created that proposal. Let's say my discount percentage that I offered was 15%. As you can see, that dynamically is going to create another step within our business process flow. So now if I'm going to be offering a large discount, I'm going to need to get a manager's approval. And with that, an automated email was sent out to my manager asking him to navigate to the record and take a look and give me his approval. So that's another way that you can leverage these workflows to make things really easy between team members within a department or between sales team members and managers to really make it streamlined and eliminate a lot of those those one-off emails where you're saying, oh, hey, Jim, can you please check into this today and get this approved? It'll just pop up in his mailbox and he can get it done. But I don't want to go through all that. So I'm actually going to only offer, a 10% discount so that I can move this thing along because, Youngha's really interested and I think he's going to get this done either way. And then as you can see, because I have some required steps still incomplete, I wasn't able to move forward to close. But you can see I have my final proposal ready, and let's say I passed it through a colleague for internal review, and I can move to close. So now that I'm in the close stage, I'm going to be waiting for Young-Ha to get back to me with his final decision, with his signature, and so forth. He did let me know that he's going to know by the end of the week, and I presented this to him earlier, but we're going to go ahead and wait to hear back from Young-Ha. So in the meantime, back to my dashboard, right? So what's up next? What else do I have to get done? So I just did some work with Alpine Ski House, but I'm remembering, okay, yeah, Jess was reaching out to me yesterday. She works with AdventureWorks, right? And we haven't done much work with them lately. I'm not too familiar with them. So I want to take a deeper look into that. So I can go ahead and just search for AdventureWorks. And I'm going to put this wildcard indicator in front of my search because then it'll show up even if AdventureWorks isn't the first sequence within that search term. So now I can look into them and see, oh, well, you know what? We actually know quite a bit about these guys. So we have some other contacts that I can look into. We have some other opportunities that I can reference, right? So maybe we sold them. It looks like some home PC equipment, maybe some printers in the past. And so I can leverage this knowledge when I'm working with Jess, even though I wasn't the salesperson who was involved in that sale. Another thing we can do, I know they're big in their sporting goods stores. They do some retail, some wholesale, some other things. So in preparation for my meeting with Jess, I want to get a good idea of what work we've done with similar organizations in the past. And so what I can do is use my advanced find query to just quickly pull up some information based on the accounts we've worked with. And so here I'm looking at my accounts record. I can just do a quick search based on the industry type. So maybe I want to look up, accounts that we've worked with that are in the, let's see, I think they could be doing some wholesale distributing, so I want to check that box. I know for sure that they do, let's see, what do they do? They do rentals. So let's go and find that option. I know we have it in here somewhere, but we'll select wholesale and some other things for the meantime and just see what we can come up with. And so now I see, we only had work done with one account, so, maybe we don't have a ton of experience within her industry, but I can go ahead, maybe we've done a lot of work with these guys. And so I can see, okay, well, we've sold some audio equipment within this industry. We have some good contacts, so maybe this would be a good account to bring up in my meeting with Jess, and maybe we could get some referrals if she wants to do, a little bit of due diligence before starting to work with us. And so that's just the power of having all your information within one system. You can really, dig into what's been done in the past, whether or not you're familiar with that off the top of your head. You're just referencing historic information here. So I can close that out. So now I can jump back and, maybe Young-Ha got back to me and he's ready to move on, right? So as a sales user, I'm really bouncing around all day, right? I don't really know what's going to happen next, who's going to move things forward quickly, who's not. And so, Young-Ha finally got back to me. So I want to jump right back into that opportunity and get that done, right? He's ready to sign up on that proposal, and I want to close that before the end of the day so my manager can see that I got this deal done. So now I can jump into my Alpine Ski House. I can see, kind of the things that were happening in the background as I was working on this opportunity. My probability was changing as I was moving through the process. That changes my weighted revenues, and I have activities here for discount approvals and for our next steps, and all these things are kind of happening behind the scenes without me having to do any of that. So it makes my job really easy because I'm just kind of doing the core things that I have to focus on to move things forward with Young-Ha, and the rest kind of takes care of itself. And so, yeah, a CRM is going to be asking me as a sales user to, fill out some fields, and, maybe sometimes I have to type in some descriptions and other things that, may not get me too excited about it. But kind of the trade-off of that is that there's all these things that are helping me organize my day and to help me move deals along and get things done that I never actually have to do. It's just all being taken care of by Dynamics. All right, and so now that we've received word back from Youngha, maybe he signed that via DocuSign, I can go ahead and say, okay, I want to send a thank you note, which again is going to fire that off based off of our thank you template. Or it can also, generate an email draft if I'd rather have it do that, where I can go in and personalize it a bit more. And then I'm going to close this deal as one. And so really, this is just asking for some simple information. So was the actual revenue the same as being quoted here? So maybe I offered some additional discounts right at the end, and I can update that. Or maybe I want to add some details based on what it took to get this deal closed. Maybe I had to go and meet with the president, or there were some additional steps. I can make note of that so when we report back on these deals, we have all the information. But then I'm going to go ahead and close this. Oops. I always forget about that. So since I have an active quote, I'm not going to be able to move forward until I finalize that. So I'm going to go ahead and finalize this quote. And then I can go back to my opportunity and close this deal. Looks like that didn't close for me. So I'll go ahead and confirm, create order. Let's just close the quote. And then I should be able to close this opportunity. And so once I do close this opportunity, what it's going to do is it's going to update my pipeline. If my manager is watching my sales goals, it's going to get all that updated as well. And so if I just go back to my dashboard here, looks like my quote is messing with me a bit there. We can see, as we're moving through these processes, I have my big sales pipeline, but it's constantly ebbing and flowing, right? It's moving from qualify to propose to close, and so I can constantly see, what I'm working on and how close to done I'm getting. And so this is where I can really, focus on, am I nearing the end of my sales process? Maybe it's the end of a quarter, and I really want to focus on some of the deals that are really getting close. I can actually interact with these charts at a much more granular level. And so if I pull up this chart here, I can see I have my list of records, but I just want to focus on what's getting close. And so here I can see, okay, well my two big deals is, the one that I just finished that I'm going to go back and close here in a minute, and then, this other deal for coffee houses that maybe I want to focus on next. And so that's how you can kind of use your dashboards and the workflow within CRM to kind of tailor your day and to figure out what do I need to do next, because that's really why CRM can be so powerful, because it keeps me focused on my sales opportunities. It keeps me focused on things that I can have a positive effect on, that I can positively change. And so I really can just focus on, let's make sure I'm following up in a timely manner, and let's just focus on, what's coming up next, right? Whether it's a phone call or a task or, a proposal creation, those sorts of things. And it helps me organize my day in such a way that I'm not scattered, I'm not searching through my email, I'm not bouncing around between various windows. As you saw from our demonstration today, I don't think I ever left Chrome. So I'm just working with one tool. Makes it really easy and streamlined to go about my day and to get things done. And so that's really one of the key benefits for CRM for that sales user, right? And so a lot of sales individuals will see CRM as additional work for them, or maybe there's their manager wanting to keep tabs. But if you actually take the time to develop that sales process, to introduce the automation and the workflow, it can be a huge time saver, and it can also provide a ton of value in terms of simplifying that individual's day and just making everything really easy for them, right? Just kind of handing them one thing at a time and allowing them to take a streamlined approach to their job and to the various tasks. So that's really the core about what I wanted to present today. So I'll let Jess open it up to questions, or I'm seeing a little icon popping here in the corner of my eye, so maybe a few already came through, and I'd be happy to answer those.
Hey, Alex, well done. That was great. You covered quite a bit, actually, in that 50 minutes. I appreciate that. So we haven't had any questions come through just yet, but I'm sure people are still absorbing and trying to formulate based on the storyline that you went through. I just wanted to double check, what version of Dynamics 365 are you showing right now?
Sure. So this is Dynamics 365 version 8 point something. So
8.2?
it is the 2017 release of Dynamics. And so there has been one more release since this version. So if anybody went and decided to spin up a free trial, or if they just spun up a tenant today, they would likely have one version ahead of this. But mainly the functionality is similar, just a few minor changes.
Great. Just wanted to be clear. Okay. Double check here.
Yeah, and really everything we looked at today, for those who are using Dynamics CRM 2016, Update 2 specifically, all this functionality is available to them as well.
Okay, that's a great call out. Let's see, no questions yet. I'll give people just another moment to add those in the questions pane if you're still curious about anything. I also wanted to mention that we are recording today's session, and we will get you a link. If you attended today, you'll definitely get a link to that recording for download, and we'll also make sure that you get the presenter's information as well. So if there are any questions that do occur to you after the fact, you can go right to the horse's mouth with those and contact Alice directly. I also wanted to mention that we've got a lot of other webinars coming up across the different products that we do serve. I mentioned earlier that we do serve AX, GP, NAV, Power BI, and of course CRM, or Dynamics 365 you're hearing about from today. And then some other topics as well. So there are quite a few that we're going to be scheduling out all across 2018. So please be on the lookout for that information as well. If you're not currently getting our newsletter, please do let us know. You can actually let me know right now through the chat pane, through the questions pane. Let me know you'd like to be getting that. That's how we get a lot of our information out about upcoming events, particularly the webinars, and you'll be able to make sure that you stay up to date on all of that. And Alex, unless you have anything to add, I haven't had anything else come through the questions pane, so we could actually give people 10 minutes back if you're interested.
Yeah, that would be great. I don't think I have anything else to add. So just feel free to email or give me a call if you have any questions after the fact, or want to dig a little bit deeper into anything we covered.
Perfect. And as I said, I'll definitely be giving everyone that contact information afterwards. Oh, sorry. Of course, we had one question just walk through. 1 second here, Alex. It says, we sell memberships to our cloud services, of which the bulk of those transactions occur through our website. Would this application be overkill when managing those transactions?
No, so what you can do is actually connect this directly with your website. So you could have those transactions flowing in so that your sales team has that history, right? So if you have customers doing repeat orders, or maybe you want to use CRM to manage the subscription billing piece, it's actually quite proficient at that, and we have some solutions that we built in the past that can handle that. So it can still do a lot for you, right? A lot of organizations will take their transactions, big and small, professional services organizations, for example, and go as far as invoicing through CRM to make sure that their sales team has all the information, right? Because you don't want your sales team having to go into like an ERP system or have multiple licenses or multiple systems. You can put it all in one place. So even if they're mostly just managing a few big deals in CRM, they'll still have all that history from the smaller online traffic and online sales transactions all in one place here within CRM.
Perfect. And if that question does have any secondary or any peripheral topics that you'd like to hit, like I said, you'll get Alex's information. Feel free to ping him. He can probably talk CRM process all day long, so just warning you. But please do feel free to reach out. That was a great question. Okay, I don't see any others coming through. I hate cutting people off if you're out there typing, so if we do close this webinar down and you're still interested in asking a question, please do contact us through email. You can also go to our website, encorebusiness.com. There's plenty of ways to contact us through that as well. So, okay, Alex, great job today. That was an excellent look at Dynamics 365. Really appreciate the time. And we can give everybody back, looks like 8 minutes. So, well done.
Alrighty, thanks, Jess, and thanks everybody for giving me your lunch hour. It's appreciated.
Thanks a lot, everyone. Hopefully we'll see you on another webinar very soon. Bye.